avoid 90+% of customers getting angry, wanting refunds and leaving, especially in hospitality, just by setting expectations really clearly. What do I mean by this? So, an example from a coffee shop that I owned for 5 years is that occasionally, and you can relate to this at Starbucks, there'll be a queue for about 15 minutes from when you order your drink to when you get it. Now, we noticed about 10 to 12 minutes is where customers really start getting a bit pissed off, right? It was a mismatched expectation. I can't put it any other way. They ordered a drink, they saw that it was pretty much empty and they thought they were getting it now. And it turns out they're not, because there are people sat upstairs, or someone popped out and then is going to come back in a couple of minutes, etc. And so once you cross that threshold, we noticed that people just started coming back and getting angry about it. And rightly so, because they had places to be. They had people to meet and situations that you were unaware of, as to they're just going to pop in for a quick coffee, right? So we created a system that 3 tickets was a 5-minute wait, 6 tickets, 10 minutes, 9 tickets, 15 minutes, 12 tickets, 20 minutes, and so on. So it was a really clear, easy way to say, this is how long your drinks are going to take. Now, they don't usually take that long, and so it's a nice, easy way to overachieve. Now, when you say, hey, this is actually going to take 15 to 20 minutes, are you okay with that? I would say about 1 in 10 go, oh, actually, no, I don't quite have time for that. I'll just pop somewhere else. And you're like, great, thank you so much. Sorry to waste your time. And that's all it takes. Is you lose about 10% of your custom that you would otherwise get, but you avoid 30% of refunds and people getting upset about it. Sorry, just got some cars coming by. Let me pause and recontinue. So now this has continued to be true in my current company, selling maths tutoring. And if you have a high ticket sales process where you essentially sell a client and then they start a program or a service or something that's not necessarily immediate, or even if it is, I think this will still apply, it's to set expectations of what they're actually going to get very, very clearly, so that there is no concern or misinterpretation of what's going to happen. And so we have a part in a sales call called expectation / explain, right? And it's just outlining for them exactly what it looks like and why you do it, because generally it solves most of their biggest concerns. And that's it. And making sure that they truly understand and they're not just nodding along. So how do you do that? Really easy. Ask them questions. So at the end of our explain, we get them to rate it out of 10. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how perfect is this for you and the goal that you want to achieve? And they give me a number and you go, wow, that's so high. What specific part do you think is going to be the reason as to why it's going to work for you? And then they sell themselves, but also explain back to you what they're expecting. And that gives you the opportunity to correct any misunderstandings. And also, then you ask, well, what's missing for it to be a 10 out of 10? And then they explain, this bit or this bit. And you'll be like, I misexplained. Apologies. By that, this is what it's actually going to look like. Is that a little bit different than what you were expecting? And then you've cleared the air, right? And that's it. And then at the very end, and this is good for any sort of sales process or onboarding, is bam fam, book a meeting from a meeting. So you essentially tell them, when is the next time you're going to see me? What do I expect from you between now and then? And is there anything you need to have prepared? It's essentially the same thing. But when's it going to be? What am I going to get in the meantime? And that's pretty much it. If you do these things, we notice such a drastic drop-off due to very clear expectations being set. And this is a key thing that we have noticed with sales guys that have come on, that, when you think classics, you could be a salesperson. that's generally someone who just talks way too much or lies. We've had a few of those, and that causes a real problem when someone comes on and they said, oh, well, I thought it was one-to-one the entire time. I'm like, well, that is entirely not what we do. It's like turning up to McDonald's and getting pissed off that it's not a Michelin star dining experience of 21 courses. Like, you know for a fact that's not what they do. But if they started advertising that, you would be upset that that's not what you got. So, key takeaway from today's video. Align expectations clearly during the sales process and during onboarding. This way, people know what's going to happen from here and what's expected of them in the meantime. This allows them to get onboarded faster and get better results, and frankly, not be pissed off and end up you refunding them because you sold them something that they didn't want to buy. There we go. 2 examples from my first big business, my first real business, and my current one as to where this applies. So hopefully it helps. I'd be really intrigued to hear how you guys set expectations and how you reduce your refund rates and stuff like that. Let me know. Peace.